So far, we've been through GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas. Oh, and let's not forget the OG GTA games. And next up is GTA 4. Another GTA game that is often called one of the greatest games by Rockstar. I'm starting to think Rockstar makes some really good games. Who knows, I could be wrong. I want to start off by saying this was a GTA game that I was looking forward to playing the least. Mainly because of the atmosphere of the game. It reminded me of New York City, when it's a cold winter day and you just want to stay inside and cuddle under your blanket. The game just seemed dark and gritty, and the vibe just seeps what little happiness I have away from me. So yeah, when I played GTA 4 for the first time, 18 years after it released, I was expecting a darker, grittier, and a more down-to-earth game. And it did live up to that. GTA 4 abandoned the exaggerated, cartoonish satire of previous entries in favor for a grounded crime drama in Liberty City. Yes, the same Liberty City from GTA 3, where we met Claude. GTA 4 served as a reboot for the series, introducing the HD universe. This version of Liberty City is a bleak, washed out, but meticulously detailed recreation of New York City. It is an oppressive environment, but one that feels incredibly alive. From the varied pedestrian routines to the dense urban architecture, the city was designed to feel like a real place rather than a playground. Rockstar completely abandoned the sandbox toy box mentality in favor of a cohesive, grounded world. The opening sequence places us on a platypus cargo ship, immediately establishing the tone of the entire game. At the center is Niko Bellic, an Eastern European war veteran seeking the American dream. Unlike previous protagonists who were already entrenched in the criminal underworld or returning to a familiar neighborhood, Niko arrives as a wary outsider. Upon arriving to Liberty City, you are expecting sports cars, mansions, and women, mainly because of Roman's emails. But Roman lives in a filthy, roach-infested apartment, runs a struggling taxi depot, and is buried in gambling debts to the Russian mob. This instantly strips away the glamour of the American dream before you even start playing the game. Roman and Niko's dynamic is similar to a buddy cop film, in my opinion, with Roman's ridiculousness and Niko's hardened, stoic behavior. But he has genuine love and is protective of his foolish cousin despite the situations he puts Niko in. Roman acts as Niko's last tether to his humanity. Without Roman, Niko is just a mercenary for hire. Unlike Claude and Tommy, who were often driven by desire to climb the criminal underworld ladder, Niko was an ex-soldier desperately trying to leave his violent past behind due to his trauma. As a teenager, he fought in the Yugoslav wars, witnessing and participating in horrific atrocities. The defining tragedy of his life when his 15-man squad was ambushed. 12 of his friends were killed, and Niko quickly realized that one of the two other survivors, Darko Breivik or Florian Karvik, had sold the unit out for money. In a way, I think Niko and CJ are very similar, but from a different perspective. Niko is pragmatic. He doesn't kill for the thrill of it, nor does he revel in the chaos of Liberty City. His primary motivation is loyalty. Despite his protests, he repeatedly dives back into the criminal underworld solely to protect the people he cares about. He's trapped by the cycle. Violence is the only skill he has, so he sells that skill to secure a peaceful life, which in turn brings more violence to his doorstep. At first, I wasn't really expecting much from Nico as a character outside of being a mercenary who is sent on missions. But the Bernie questlines added a depth to his character I didn't even expect, with missions like Hating the Haters. And Nico's interaction with Bernie weren't over the top or too much. It was a completely down-to-earth and normal interaction between two friends.
I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
And what stood out to me in the story, the consequences of violence. There are points in a game where you must choose between deal or revenge. Both lead to devastating, unavoidable consequences. Unlike previous protagonists who ended their stories victorious, wealthy, and at the top of the world, Nico's story was a tragedy. Violence is shown as a curse that only breeds more violence. And Nico ultimately loses the people he cares about most, all culminating with Nico standing in the rain, having defeated his enemies, but completely hollowed out.
It's over. You won.
This is the realest a GTA game has ever gotten, and will probably ever get, because no one is trying to play a game that comes this close to reality. If you're liking this video so far, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's continue. You could argue that the reason Rockstar leaned so heavily into realism is because of the shift to HD. They didn't just upgrade the textures, they fundamentally changed the physical rules of their universe. Liberty City wasn't just a playground anymore, it was a simulation with gravity and momentum. Yes, I'm talking about the driving. The driving in GTA 4 is something I hate the most. Coming from San Andreas to this was a full 180. Look, I like that the cars in GTA 4 have mass. Like when you hit the brakes, the car doesn't just stop. But in the game, the tires just screech as they fight for grip on the asphalt. I get they're going for a more simulated, realistic feel, but most of the cars felt like they were always on knife's edge, and the brakes were more of a slow down mechanic, and the car handling is reliant on body roll and suspension dynamics. In theory, this sounds great, but in reality, you have to feather the brakes, manage your speed, and apex to your turns. I am not playing Formula 1. This is GTA. It frustrated me so much to drive the cars, and don't even get me started on the bikes. It was actually undrivable because they would just slide out so easily. But the more time I put into the game, the better I got at understanding the driving mechanics. But at that point, I realized something. They also went way too realistic for New York traffic. The roads are single lanes and the traffic was non-stop. Why? That's way too immersive for me. Liberty City feels restrictive. The streets are suffocated by traffic and the alleyways are littered with trash and dead ends. Unlike other GTA games where you can easily fly a jet over or ramp a supercar off a mountain, the city forces you to engage with it on its own terms, making the simple act of navigating feel like an actual commute. And the tolls, even in-game, tolls are unavoidable. But in all seriousness, I'm surprised by how much Liberty City emulated New York City. It felt like I'm living in the actual city. And this feeling is also cemented by the pedestrians. The NPCs in GTA 4 are a massive upgrade from the previous games, because they aren't just there to fill space in the world. They actually feel like conscious beings. Look, I've said this about all the GTA games so far, but in this game you can actually see the obvious level up in the AI, especially with the traffic lights. The implementation of traffic lights was one of the small, underappreciated details I was looking forward to. But I was so disappointed they took away the RPG elements from San Andreas, like getting fat working out, and skill progression, which sucks. So, the combat has somehow gotten better but worse. Let me put it this way. The combat in GTA 4 leveled up, in the sense that there's a new mechanic, which is the cover mechanic. You can go into cover and you don't have to just run Leroy Jenkins into combat, which is great. It makes sense, it's more realistic. But I was playing on controller, and the aim assist is damn near godly. It's worse than it was in the previous games because I could just aim and the game is taking control of who I target. But to add to that level, the cover system, the enemy AIs are in cover. Guess what? I aim and I get aim at the people in cover. Obviously, I don't do any damage to them, but it's just very unnerving that the aim assist was so powerful where you aim and even an enemy NPC in cover, you will aim at them. You can't see them, by the way, but you will aim at them, and it's so hard to control the aim. Still, why? Honestly, I've given up on expecting anything from aiming in GTA games. The combat is what it is. I guess you hate it or you love it. Okay, so when I was writing this script, I was conflicted on what I thought of GTA 4 overall. At first, I hated it. I hated the driving, I wasn't a fan of the combat, and the city felt depressing. And I couldn't understand why people considered this one of Rockstar's greatest games. But the more I thought about the game, the more I realized something. I wasn't actually disappointed by GTA 4. I was disappointed that GTA 4 wasn't GTA 5. And that's probably the biggest mistake I made going into this game. GTA 4 isn't a better version of San Andreas, and it's not a rough draft of GTA 5. It's a completely different experience. It's darker, it's slower, it's more grounded. It's a game about a man who comes to America looking for a better life, only to discover that escaping your past isn't as easy as crossing an ocean. And while I still hate driving in this game, I finally understand why people love GTA 4. Because after playing through Liberty City, I don't think Rockstar has ever made a GTA game that feels quite this real. And I don't think they ever will. But let me know what you think down in the comments below.